Good morning. My name is Allison, and I've heard that you are making the decision to go ahead with this beautiful 2025 Forester touring package. First off, this is the Sapphire Blue. It is one of our beautiful blues, and it is offered across the whole Forester lineup, with the exception of the Wilderness package. Touring is our second step up, so above the convenience package. That means we will have the 17-inch alloy wheels. You have almost every safety feature that the Forester offers. And I'll be taking the next few minutes to go over all of the features and controls of your new vehicle. Starting from the very front of the vehicle, you do have your LED steering responsive headlights. You have your wide set LED fog lights. In Manitoba, of course, you'll have also had the block heater installed, and that's going to be tucked into this little cubby hole down at the bottom. Nice, smooth lines, and with the redesign, they've also gone ahead and increased the already amazing visibility through your windshield and over the hood. One of the very new features for the redesigned Forester is the hands-free tailgate opening. So the things to keep in mind is that you do have to have your proximity key with you, whether it's in your hand, in your pocket, or in your purse. Also, there is a button within the cabin that makes sure that you have that in the tailgate enabled position. Otherwise, it'll be very frustrating. You might make people in the parking lot laugh at you. But saying that that is all set up and ready to go, you're going to have your key with you. You're going to be standing in front of the Subaru logo, and it is a simple upward kick. You'll hear the beep beep, and that will then open your tailgate. It is a really nice, high, for my height, tailgate opening. There is also a memory tailgate setting that's now got put into a menu and a submenu, and I'll be able to show you that. If you were to decide that you wanted a lower tailgate opening, perhaps you have a low ceiling in your garage. Either way, there's lots of functionality for this. And then when you are wanting to close the tailgate, it is simply the same motion. You do an upward kick at the center, and you will hear 3 beeps. That means it'll give you time to start the process, gather whatever your belongings are, be able to have 2 feet on the ground in case it's icy or snowy before the tailgate is actually closing. The other functionality for opening your trunk, of course, still exists. So directly under the Subaru logo, there is a long rubbery button for your trunk release right beside your backup camera. Also on your key fob, you've got the top button. That would be your lock. The Subaru logo is unlocked, so if you click it once, it'll be the driver's door. If you double click it, it unlocks all doors. And your bottom button, if you press and hold until it beeps, that is your trunk release. You also have your panic button, which will allow you to honk the horn and flash the lights. And if you flip this over and push in the little silver tab, then that would allow you to remove a physical key. If your battery goes dead, you need to open your driver's door to pop the hood and get your car boosted. So that gives you all the functionality for your trunk release. If we press and hold until it beeps, now we've got your trunk opening, and we can go over some of those features. This Forester has been outfitted with our Manitoba package, so there's a couple additional items from what would be coming from factory. So down at the bottom here, I do actually have the cargo net is set up, and that will be these 2 attachment points. But there is shopping bag hooks here. There's an additional 12-volt lighter adapter, front and back. You do have D rings that you can fold down for tie-down points. The cargo area tray in the Forester above the base package is standard, and it will come with the carpet mats standard from factory. In the Manitoba package with us for Forester, the additions will be the rubber all-weather floor mats, the rear seat back protectors, and the cargo net. The cargo area cover is standard as well above the base package to keep all your belongings safely out of sight. Underneath the floor deck, you will also have your spare tire, your jack, and your tow hooks. I mentioned that the touring package is very well equipped with safety features, and there are a lot of them. So we have your standard eyesight. That is your forward-facing camera on either side of your wing mirror. That's going to be your pre-collision braking and the adaptive cruise control. You also have the lane departure warning and the lane centering technology. The Touring has the blind spot detection, which is the little orange light in the side of your wing mirrors. You also have the rear cross traffic alert and the back sensors for the reverse automatic braking. Forester Touring and Up is also going to be equipped with the My Subaru app. That's the Starlink technology, and it is free for 3 years. That's going to give you the remote start functionality. You can adjust the temperature, put on your back defrost, and adjust the fan. Also, quick connect to emergency services and roadside services. That can be through your phone, and there is connectivity through the car in case you're driving and you don't have the phone with you. One thing I should also note, your fuel door is on the passenger side, as it has been for a long time, but it is now a push-pop release, so there's no release inside the cabin of the car. As long as your doors to the vehicle are unlocked, then this will be unlocked as well. When your car doors are locked, then the fuel door is locked as well. I love the functionality of the proximity key, and what that will do for you is walking up to your vehicle that's locked, all you're going to have to do is grab hold of the door handle. There are 2 little hash marks on there if you really don't have great circulation, and then you can actually put your thumb or your finger right on that touch point to have it working. But otherwise, you can just walk up. The 2 beeps means that the door is now unlocked. At the driver's door, this is going to unlock only the driver's door. If you walk up to the passenger door, then it's going to unlock all doors for you. Also, when you are done with your vehicle and you close the door, I find you can just swipe a finger across, and that's going to have all doors locked for you. Now I'm going to take the next few minutes to walk you through the interior of the vehicle, the buttons, features, and controls, so that you feel like you're ready to take on the road. We're going to start off with your driver's seat. This is the 10-way power adjust driver's seat. It's the premium cloth. It's got beautiful blue stitching, but you have lumbar support as well. So the circle at the back, there is a raised portion at the front and the back of the button. Pressing in the front control is going to increase the lumbar support, and if you press the back, it's going to put it to a more neutral position. Also, on your driver's door, you've got your mirror controls. You've got your mirror controls, your window controls, and your child window lock. So if you have this button pushed in, it's only going to be the driver that is able to control the windows. And now I've even made it into sitting in the driver's seat. I am almost ready to go. The buttons we're going to talk about right now are the ones between the wheel and your driver's door. So starting from the very outside, that's going to be your tailgate release. Again, it's a press and hold until it beeps to be able to open, pause, or lower your tailgate. Next to that, there is a dial. So that's going to be the brightness for your gauges, and it is set at the brightest setting from pickup, and then you can always dial it down. That will impact the gauges and your infotainment screen for your brightness. The next button to it I've already mentioned about, and that is to enable or disable the hands-free tailgate opening. So when the button is out flush, then that is enabled. If you decide to push it in, then that means no matter how much you kick, that tailgate isn't going to be opening. So double check so that it is in the status that you want. Below that, there's a fuel panel, and then your hood release is tucked back just a little bit farther than you might expect, and it's quite flush with the bottom of the dashboard. To the left of the wheel, this is going to be your headlight controls. So it will be set on auto. That means you're going to have daytime running lights during the day. It'll automatically turn on your headlights and automatically power everything down when you shut the vehicle down. The little bar to the inside, that is going to be what will turn on your fog lights if you decide that you want them on while you have your headlights on. The other functionality of this will be pushing away, will take you into high beams. Now, while you're in auto lights, when you turn on your high beams, you will be turning on also the high beam assist. So that means you'll have your high beams up when you're driving by yourself. When someone's coming towards you, it will dim those down and then reset them back up when that car passes. Isn't that polite? So thoughtful, Subaru. Also, this is, of course, your turn signals. If we look behind the right side of your wheel, this is going to be your windshield wipers. So Pulling down is going to be intermittent, low, and high. This is going to adjust what level of intermittent, and the outside bar will be adjusting your back window washer and wiper. So of course, something to note is for a Forester, your back window washer is of course going to rinse off your backup camera as well. It is glorious. Wait until you try it. Our steering wheel controls haven't changed drastically over the years, but let's go through what the updated buttons are. The left side of your wheel is all your stereo controls and hands-free with a little bit of changes. So your volume controls has now adjusted down to this lower setting. Very nice and easy to access while you're driving. The row above would be for answering a phone call, hanging up a phone call, muting your radio, or using your voice controls. I do find that all of this is much easier to do on the big screen now when you have your phone connected. Top row, this is going to be for skipping forward preset radio stations, tracks of the music you're streaming, and source is going to take you through FM, AM, Sirius XM, whichever mode for listening you're preferring. This menu is going to adjust what we've got going on up here. So while you're driving, you'll have a digital speedometer, and above it, there is a new menu bar. So this toggle will scroll you through those menu settings. That can be the date and outside temperature and time. It could be the radio station you're listening to. It can be a trip meter and distance till empty, whatever it is you're looking to have displayed. I realized when I got out to open the delivery pod door and get some fresh air in here, I didn't give you a little show and tell of your interior cabin for the touring package. I think this seating is a beautiful upgrade, giving it a little variegated texturing and this beautiful blue stitching. And of course, when we're going into touring, you are adding all kinds of nice little comfort features. So you do have the USB-A and USB for the back seat, USB-A and C, and you also have your center armrest with cup holders, and you've got then your reclining back seats here. To flip your seats down, of course, it's just picking this up and flipping forward. All right, now I had enough time. I've cooled back down and we can continue with our walkthrough. The right-hand side of your wheel is all about your adaptive cruise control, which means you would enable your cruise with this button, toggle down to set or up to resume, which is fairly standard, and the adaptive component is you setting what you want as a safe following distance from the vehicle in front of you. So you get to your preset or your speed that you want to set, toggle down to set. No one's in front of you, then that's just what you're driving at. When someone is in front of you and driving slower, the distance that you set for this is what's going to determine how close you get before the vehicle is overriding your speed and keeping what you want as a safe following distance. You can go up to 4 lines and you can go down to 1. I like to think of it as roughly equivalent to a car length because that helps me visually determine the distance that I'm working with. Also, you have lane centering. So what that is a more active steering adjustment on top of the lane departure warning that is always going to be on. Lane departure is just going to give you a notification up in the center. If you are not paying attention, you drift out of a lane up to 65 kilometers an hour. You'll get that beep beep notification. Above 65, it'll give you a little nudge back into your lane and then warn you that you are drifting. Lane centering, you choose to turn on, and as long as you are using your cruise and the eyesight can read both sides of the lane markings, it will make more active steering adjustments so you don't drift out of the lane either side. Down here, we've got your drive modes. So I is intelligent, that is your eco mode, that's going to be your standard. If you choose, you can go into sport mode. It's going to feel like you're accelerating more quickly. It gives you a little more sporty, fun experience. We know that's also going to be at the expense of your fuel efficiency. But when you turn the car off and turn it back on, it will always be in intelligent mode. Below that, here, it's very important in Canada living. This is your heated steering wheel, so you pull that towards you. When we've got power on the vehicle, you'll get a little orange light there. It's going to heat up in less than a minute. And for the heated wheel, it heats up everything except for this very top section. That does not get heated, but you have all of the rest of it that does. As I mentioned, with that change in placement on the left side of the wheel, toggling through your menu options up here. And then this is the rest of your kind of start screen when we don't actually have power on. So the left dial, this is all going to be your tachometer and your temperature. Then you've got your menu here, digital speedometer, your odometer, and this has your drive mode and that you're in park. Your fuel gauge is here, and of course it's noting that your gas door is going to be on the passenger side. Why don't we do a quick run through of all of the buttons on the infotainment, as this is the biggest change from our previous generation, more in size than functionality. But the previous version of the Forester was more analog and had more buttons all throughout for each of the safety features. Now they're housed in a much more streamlined fashion. First thing to note, at the top left, this sticker is covering your hazard lights, your four-way flashers. You have the menu bar along the top here, which you can scroll through, and this will give you common gauges that you can change. It will give you temperature, so that is tied to your Sirius XM. You do have a 3-month trial of Sirius XM. If you choose not to continue with it, then this weather forecast goes away after those 3 months. And you also have a quick connect to your X mode. If you don't already know, X mode is like your 4-wheel drive low system. You can opt into it if you ever think you're going to be getting stuck, and X mode is going to move power to whichever wheel has traction. And if you get out of that back lane that hasn't been cleared and get to the main road, it's going to opt you back into your regular all-wheel drive without you having to turn it off. Below that, we've got your radio button, FM, AM, and as I mentioned, 3 months free of Sirius XM. You do have a volume dial and a tuning dial. So those things that are the quick adjustments you can do without taking your eyes off the road. Muting your radio is going to be a quick button push, and to remove it, also a quick button push. I'll leave it muted for the sake of this exercise. You also do have 18 presets. Those you can mix and match with any of the sources of your music. And when you get a setting that you want, you would just press and hold the corresponding button until you hear that beep. And it's set. You can then overwrite them as many times as you would want as well. This button here, this is your home button. This will take you back to the main screen from any of the other screens. When you are going to connect your phone, if you go into the phone button, you say yes, you want to connect. It's also then going to walk you through exactly how you're going to do it. No more guesswork is involved. This is a built-in how-to. So you will go into your phone and your settings. You will select Bluetooth. You will make sure your Bluetooth is turned on. Then it will be searching, and that pairing is going to pop up saying Forester. You click on Forester. After you confirm the PIN code is the same, and then you follow all of the prompts. When you connect your phone through Bluetooth, as long as your phone is compatible with it, it's then going to also ask if you want to connect either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, whichever is appropriate for your vehicle. And your Forester Touring is equipped with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is new with the redesign. Previously, you had to be plugged in. So the wireless feature is smooth and definitely a convenience. In the Apps button, this is going to show that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is built into the vehicle. The My Subaru is your 3-year remote start emergency services and roadside assistance app. And Travel Link is what shows you that weather forecast. And again, it's all tied to your Sirius XM subscription. Now, if we go into settings, there is, of course, a whole lot of information in here. Changing your clock is front and center that you can update. But now if you are using your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, then the time is going to automatically adjust bouncing off of your phone for your daylight savings time. Much less frustrating than it has been on previous years. You also have all kinds of functionality that you can change to personalize the vehicle as you want. So this is under your General tab. Sounds, every notification sound has its own volume. Currently, everything is set at middle, but you can always increase or decrease those sounds. And along with this arrow over here going under car, this is also going to access all of your safety features. So your eyesight is your pre-collision braking. It also gives how you're going to be having those notifications. So forward collision warning, for example, it's set at normal. Maybe you want it to caution you with more distance from a vehicle in front of you, or maybe you're a risk taker and you want it a little bit closer. These are your choices. Also, your reverse automatic braking and your keyless entry system. So as I had mentioned, you walk up to your car, it'll automatically unlock the driver's door. If you have a full carload, maybe you're going to want it to unlock all doors all the time. And that is, again, your choice. The defaults will always be your safest or most economical options. You also do have the rear seat reminder. This is tied to if you are opening back doors or the trunk before you get in and drive, that when you turn the car off, it will remind you not to leave whatever it was you put in the trunk or the back seat behind. Power rear gate, I think I mentioned about the memory tailgate setting under settings, car, and power rear gate. Here is that memory tailgate setting. So if you are wanting to utilize it, first you turn it on, then you would open the trunk, and the default for that is going to be only opening a quarter height. Then manually you lift the tailgate to whatever position it is that you want, and you will press and hold both of the two buttons on the back tailgate. So that is the closing trunk and locking button. Press and hold until you hear a loud long beep, and then that means that your memory tailgate setting is saved and stored. So it will open only to that height for the entirety of while you have this toggled. So that will stay through power down and power up. Also, if you ever just open your trunk and it opens a quarter height, and it means somebody was muddling in your settings and has turned it on, maybe inadvertently. There is another way to get to X mode here. You could turn off your steering control headlights. You could turn off your blind spot detection and your rear cross traffic alert. Any of those functionalities are all under settings and car. Here is your My Subaru button. So right now this vehicle isn't connected, but if it was, it would pop up with a quick connect to roadside assistance, to the dealership to set up an appointment, or the concierge service. So concierge is purely a convenience, and that means if you are driving somewhere you're not familiar with, say you're low on gas and your phone's dead, if you don't want to take your eyes off the road to be trying to put something in your navigation, you can just contact the concierge. You could have them bounce off your location and give you directions to a gas station. And again, that is free for 3 years. Your car info button, that is going to be able to show you if you're on an incline, a decline, where the power is going, and also give you your maintenance reminders. So you can manually set those as well. And that is all under car info. Display off is a new and very smart feature. So going into this big 11.6-inch vertically mounted masterpiece, we do have some people who feel like it's going to be a distraction while doing a night drive, and that's a point of concern. Well, fear not, friends. You can hit the display off button, the music that you're playing will continue playing, and the screen will go to sleep. So it's a fantastic choice because instead of dimming down your controls and then not being able to see your gauges, with the display off, it means that everything is just continuing playing, but you don't have that visual distraction. You can tap on the screen and then your climate controls come back. And when you're wanting to put the screen back up and be able to utilize it, press and hold your volume dial for the count of 3, and everything is back up and going. So we've gone over what the home button is. To the left of it, there is this little grayed out button that is an A with an arrow around it. That is your auto start stop. In the previous generation, that was in one of the buttons over near your tailgate release. We now do have it as a quick override, your auto start stop. If you're not familiar, that's when the vehicle decides it's efficient to be a fuel saver to turn the engine off when you get to a stoplight. It will be quite unnoticeable turning off. When you lift your foot from the brake, then you feel a little shudder, and that's the car restarting. And it can save you up to 10% on fuel costs during the time that it's utilized. If you don't like it, you can turn that button off. Right now it's grayed out because the car's not running. But if you turn it off, it will be overridden for the length of your drive. It is part of what will default on when you start your car. To the left of that is your auto vehicle hold. AVH is like a hill brake. So when you are at a stop, it will hold you in place until you put your foot on the accelerator to release it. To the left of that, the car with the circle around it, this is going to give you another screen of your vehicle control and safety features. So these are the ones that more impact your driving directly, and then your driving assistance is going to be all your safety features. More settings would be adjusting your volume, notification volume, and if you are wanting to go to miles and miles per gallon. That's all under that car. To the right of the home button, this will be for managing devices, so you're wanting to add or switch which phone is connected. And the profile, I don't find it gets used that much, but if you do have multiple drivers, you could pair a name to the appropriate phone for it to connect with to save any confusion. And that's going to bring us down to our climate controls. This is again one of the adjustments going into the bigger screen, but there are tactile buttons in addition to the touchscreen. So right below the volume dial, this is your front defrost. Right under the tuning, this is your back defrost and your heated mirrors. You can also adjust your temperature on either side with hard buttons. This will be adjusting a half a degree with each button push, but nice and easy. You don't have to take your eyes off the road. The fan is now conveniently directly at the bottom of the screen, and I find while you're driving, it's easy to just get to that guidepost, having your hand on the gear shift, going straight forward, and that's going to have you in the right position to be able to interact with your fan speed, which means quickly and easily it becomes something you're not taking your eyes off the road. Your HVAC on and off is here, and your air conditioning button is here. Heated seats, 3-stage heated seat, are on the outside of the top row, and the fan all is a new addition. So right now this will be circulating air through as well to the passengers in the back seat. If you don't have people in the back seat, turn that off and it switches so that it's more effectively keeping the people in the front compartment cool or warm. This black button or black box here will give you a pop-up. So when you pop that up, it means you can use this slider to adjust your temperatures, sync or unsync, air conditioning, recirculating, and your bottom row, this is going to be all about where the air is blowing. This again is well thought out because you can open it, make your selections, and when you don't touch the screen for 10 seconds, it's then going to minimize and you don't have to X back out of the screen. We will now move on to the other buttons that are in the cabin. Directly below your screen, you have USB-A, USB-C, and the auxiliary plug. You also have a wireless phone charger right here, and it's nice that it does have a power button, so if you aren't using the wireless charging, you want to use this just as a storage cubby, then you can turn the power off and toss in whatever it is you're needing down here. We've got your gear shift control, and then we've got your electronic parking brake. So you pull up to set, and then you would make sure that you would have to have your foot on the brake and push down to release. You do have another 12-volt adapter here, and then you've got your center console, which has a great amount of storage. One of the other great upgrades for the 2025 Forester Touring is that you now have the HomeLink mirror. So that is your rear view mirror that is auto dimming. You have a digital compass, and you can also pair your garage door opener to it. Let me show you. All right, so with your rear view, you can see there are 3 buttons along the bottom here. If you are going to pair your garage door opener, you're going to click this. You see it's wanting to pair. You take your garage door clicker, press and hold so that they can communicate. If this turns to a solid green, then you are paired and it's good. If it turns to a flashing green light, it means it could connect, but you're actually going to do it off the base unit of your garage door opener, the motor. I don't have a garage. I'm just saying words, but this is what I believe to be true. The other items we have above in your headliner, you have an SOS button. So that would be if you do have an accident and you need to connect to emergency services. And the I is another way to get to that concierge service that I spoke about before. You've also got your sunroof controls. Big, beautiful sunroof. You can either manually open your cover, or if you were to open and slide open your sunroof with the power button, it's going to catch the cover and retract it with you. And then that would also work in reverse. If you close it, it will bring the cover back. So it's kind of an all-in-one, and it saves your shoulders. You also do have, you're going to have a light here saying that either your airbag is on or off. And this slider here is going to set up whether your map lights are on or off while the doors are open. And then you have your sunglass holder here. I wanted to take a minute and say thank you so much for taking the time to go through the features and controls of the beautiful new Forester Touring. Sapphire blue is still a stunner of a color, wouldn't you say? Anyhow, I also wanted to encourage you to reach out if you have any questions, concerns, or maybe you just want more information about any of the features going forward. I've got my phone number here for a quick and easy access for you. But I want to say again, my name is Allison. I work here at Jim Pattison Subaru South in sunny Winnipeg, Manitoba, and I look forward to being your go-to gal for all things Subaru here in Canada. Welcome to the family.